Hello, happy Monday. Welcome back to our home run YouTube videos. We're here with the Below Carl Immigration Group. I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, Scott Emery.
How's it going?
Doing well, thank you, Scott. We're here at the office getting ready for the holidays, working hard. And we're going to provide an update. Hopefully we're speaking loud enough for the speaker, but I assume we are. We're going to provide an update on the IRGC ban. That is, again, the IRGC is the pseudo-government entity of Iran, or is it the government entity? And it's been classified as a terrorist organization by the U.S., which has caused a lot of issues for people to get immigrant visas to come over here.
Yeah, as a refresher, IRGC is it's a branch of military in Iran. It is not their formal military.
Right.
It is considered part of when the Iranian regime took over in the 70s. They created this more kind of religiously outfitted branch.
Okay.
And IRGC is there. So yes, under President Trump, IRGC was designated as a military or as a terrorist organization.
Mm-hmm.
And any person who has ever served in IRGC was designated as a terrorist.
And that is within any kind of branch or role of IRGC, correct?
Yeah, and the problem a lot of people were happening were that people were drafted into IRGC in Iran. So in Iran, there's mandatory military service for most males. There's some exceptions, but most males have mandatory military service, and they could get chosen to serve in IRGC without any say of their own. They didn't choose to do this. And now, after the Trump designation, they were barred from getting any visa to come to the United States.
You say any visa. So if you serve in the IRGC, you cannot get a visitor visa nor an immigrant visa, or is there a distinction between the two?
Yeah, so it makes you inadmissible regardless, non-immigrant or immigrant visa. It makes you inadmissible.
Right.
There is a distinction though in terms of waivers. Under the immigrant visa side, there is no waiver for this type of inadmissibility.
Okay. Yeah.
Under the non-immigrant visa side, there is a waiver available. In theory, still tough to get, but it's in theory, it's there, and it's something you can apply for. Seems a little counterintuitive that you can get a tourist visa to come here, but you can't get a visa to live with your spouse here. But that's what it is.
That's interesting. Now, do you have any intel on how they would adjudicate at the State Department level a fiancé visa? Because it's kind of a hybrid visa, whether it's a non-immigrant or
kind of a hybrid. One, the inadmissibility would apply for sure.
Yeah, right.
End of story, right? You could ask for the waiver. I doubt that would be successful.
Yeah.
I think you would look at it as kind of an immigrant visa type.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting case. I mean, I think there's an argument to be made there that, maybe fiancé visa would be the way to go, because clearly an immigrant visa, if you're married, there is no waiver available. At least if you're trying to get a fiancé visa, you might be able to at least submit the waiver and make a plausible argument.
Sure, but then what do you do once you get here? Because there's still an inadmissibility determination.
Oh, when you apply for the adjustment. Yes, good point.
So still, I would think they'd probably just deny it on the outset, save everybody the time and money.
Yeah, at least you get on American soil. Possibly you can apply for asylum or something along those lines. Okay, so thank you for that. Any recent updates?
Not really any recent updates. There was some hope that under the Biden administration, maybe he would take this back, or maybe he would carve out some sort of exception for perhaps people who were drafted. That hasn't happened.
Okay.
And it doesn't seem like it's likely to happen, to be honest, with the political situation going on in Iran this year. So I doubt that's going to happen. There was last year an exception, or an exemption, I should say, that was announced for limited material support of terrorist organizations, which kind of broadened the language for who could qualify for an exemption for limited material support of organizations. However, when that was crafted, they really had in mind Afghans who were dealing with the Taliban.
Okay.
And we have it on authority from the U.S. Attorney's Office. They do not consider it for IRGC. And we were told specifically one reason is that it doesn't carve out an exemption from having received military training from a terrorist organization, which if you served in IRGC, you had military training from them.
Okay, that's interesting. So if you're an Afghani citizen, then there may be a special exemption, is what you're saying.
Yeah, if you were forced to give some sort of limited support to the Taliban, that's where the exemption would apply.
Okay. Well, great. I mean, that's all we really have. I mean, it's not much of an update, just a little bit of a refresher. We do get a number of calls regarding this, so hopefully this video is somewhat informative. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call, shoot us an email. Again, like I said, below Carl Immigration Group, AmericanVisas.net. Have a good week. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Hey.